12 away from 8 o'clock. Social media is never far away from the headlines. Will TikTok be banned? Will Australia raise its social media age? Are we doing enough to tackle AI? Katie Brown is a social media guru who led New Zealand government's COVID response. And she's also New Zealand's rep for Meta, who operate Facebook and Instagram. And she joins us this morning to tell us all about this fascinating career. Morena, Katie.
Morena, Laura, how are you?
Great, thank you. Now, a lot of us have opinions of social media as outsiders and users of social media, but you kind of have this unique inside perspective. What's your take on what's happening, particularly with TikTok around the world?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple of issues that they're trying to address. So loads of people are using TikTok, loads of people are using every single social media channel. The US have said that there may be a national security threat, and so that's their grounds for looking to ban TikTok. There hasn't been any evidence of that presented. And then other places around the world, like Australia, are concerned about the content that young people are being exposed to on those platforms. So it's more about safety in Australia and national security in America.
Yes, because what is the recommended age to hold off your kids? Because I imagine the requests come in when they're quite young, but what age are we told to wait to?
Well, it's 13. So 13 is the age across all of the platforms. There are some countries that have higher age limits, and that's what Australia is trying to do. They're trying to, well, it's actually only New South Wales that's trying to make a change at the moment, and they want to lift it to 16. So it really is up to parents around the time that they feel comfortable with their young people being online. But in terms of the platforms, it's 13.
And how many 13-year-olds do have social media? Is that a big proportion of users, the 13 to 16-year-olds, or maybe are they spending a lot of time on social media if they are there?
Well, we actually don't have the numbers for the under 18, so all of the platforms can only report on the numbers above the age of 18, and that's because it's for marketing purposes, so no marketers are allowed to market to people under the age of 18. So we don't actually have a full number of these young people, but what we do know is that TikTok is the biggest growing platform, social media platform in New Zealand, and there's 1.6 million members above the age of 18, so we know that there's loads more under 18 that are active on there.
Katie, it's Michael here. I have young kids, and I guess this is an issue that I've thought about recently. When they do come of an age where they want to have a social media account, what's some advice that you can give to parents to sort of help them manage what these kids are doing on the social media website, what they're exposed to, and all of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so I've talked to some experts about this. The Suicide Prevention Office have actually done a huge amount of work and they've created some really good resources for this, which will be available pretty shortly on the Mental Health Foundation website. And the advice is really about building good relationships with your young people and keeping it open and transparent. So there's one suggestion to co-scroll. So I know of a couple of mums who co-scroll with their young people. So they have a little bit of time each day where they go through and look at funny dog videos and fun content together. And that starts to teach the algorithm, hey, this is the kind of content this person should be served. So it's a proactive behaviour that you can do. If that's not something that you can do with your young person, then it's about having conversations around what their personal rules are. How much content are they willing to give of themselves, but also how much are they willing to accept. So what are their lines of safety, and what can they do if they see something that makes them feel uncomfortable or doesn't make them feel very good.
Katie, as New Zealand's Meta rep, what does your job entail? That sounds like a fascinating role.
Well, I'm Meta's community trainer, so I'm the last one here in Aotearoa, and I'm not an employee of Meta. I contract to them when they want to deliver training. So in the past, we've done training for Māori and small business, for tourism companies to use social media in a powerful way to market their businesses. And we did a really cool session. It was Australasia and Pacific first responders on managing a crisis on social media. So all really helpful stuff. But it's really just when they have some training that they need to deliver, and I deliver it for them.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I mean, half the time we're trying to get messages through to certain groups of people, right? And social media can be quite a good tool to use. And if we're talking about young people, we know a lot of them are on there or interact with it in whatever way. Maybe their friends have accounts. Is this kind of the issue? It's like we kind of want to be able to show them things, to tell them things, but also we don't want them on there.
Yeah, it's quite. I think we talk a lot about the bad stuff on social media, but it is really valuable to talk about the good stuff. It's been a really good connector, particularly for people who don't connect as well in person, but they can connect really well online. It's really great for community building and also for a safe place for young people to go and seek help as well. So there are some real good benefits that do need to be talked alongside the risks and the dangers that do exist with using any social media platform.
Katie, how many social medias do you have and what's your favourite?
How many social medias? Well, I'm on every platform. Look, our business specialises in helping organisations trying to do good on social media, so I have to be on every single one. I'm an observer on TikTok, so I just go in and look at dancing videos and anything our clients are doing, I'm interested in. I do a bit of research on TikTok, but I don't make TikToks myself. I actually like LinkedIn as a platform. I know it's a bit of, it's definitely a millennials platform, but it's pretty respectful, pretty safe, and you're able to talk about the topics that you know a lot about in a pretty safe way. So LinkedIn's my personal favourite, and then I'd say Instagram would be the second. Yeah, how about you guys?
Well, actually, Katie, you're asking the wrong person because I have 0 social media accounts. Yeah.
Do you even exist, Michael?
Well, I don't know.
I don't have TikTok. That's the one that I'm like, that's the one I'm not going to have.
Yeah.
I'm surviving so far, although a lot of people in the office do tell me, like, oh, what about this thing on TikTok? And I don't know what they're talking about.
Would be the exception to the rule, Katie, right?
Yeah, you guys are really carving out a path for resistance to social media. But look, what we do know is that lots of young people are actually using TikTok as their first source for news. And so it is important that we do have good news sources, or at least trusted news sources on those platforms. So at least we know that if they're on there, they're getting good stuff rather than perhaps unverified information. So it might be something to consider in the future, guys.
Yes, thank you so much. That's social media expert Katie Brown. We do have a TikTok because people who work on AM do upload stuff to TikTok. I couldn't tell you what it is because I'm not on TikTok.
It's like, well, at least from my knowledge, the big story of the day, or of the morning at least, there'll be a TikTok on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There we are, TikTok users. 4 away from